Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sam from OnTableTop, and we're joined by David Esbri. How you doing?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Now,
Good,
some
good.
of you, of course, will know David already. For those who don't, David, you're the designer of Carnivale, Home Raiders, Fan Hunter.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, you've published a bunch of other games from Devir.
Guilty as charged. Yeah. Right now, I'm focusing more as in my publisher side of things, and well, I work at Devir, and we're putting out a lot of new games from new designers, and established designers as well. And I'm here again to show you what our latest releases are.
Yeah, so of course, we're going to be showcasing all through the coming week some of the different games that Devir are bringing with them to UK Games Expo, yeah?
Yes. Like in previous years, we are putting out a few new titles for the UK Game Expo attendees, and we're presenting them with you this week. We will be looking at these games that we have here: Papua, The Color Monster, and Silk, and also La Viña. Which we don't have physically the box, but we will be playing it as well. And these three should be available for the public at the UK Game Expo next weekend.
Fantastic. I've been dying for a chance to play most of the, especially Silk, I will admit. Silk has been catching my eye for quite a while, so I can't wait to get this on the table. Now, I want to ask you a bit about these, and of course I want to talk to you a bit more about the design process, how you go about taking them from idea to final product. But first, let's go through the games in front of us. So let's start with Papua.
Okay.
So here's Papua. What can you tell us about this game here?
Okay, so this game has been designed by Diego Ibáñez and Javier Garcia, illustrated by Pedro Soto. These are the Diego Ibáñez is the designer behind Holmes versus Mycroft, which we already saw a few years ago. And this is your very classic Euro game in terms of it's got a lot of mechanics you already know, such as worker placement and set collection, and even a little bit of push your luck there. But they're all wrapped up in a really nice game. Everything flows really smoothly on this one. And it's becoming a really solid game in the Devir line.
So you've been playing this much yourself in the office?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Well, that's one of the perks of this job. You're getting paid to play, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what they say. But
yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
I know you told me that there's hidden bluffing mechanics in that.
Yes.
So that's something I'm really looking forward to. How does that work out in there?
Well, there's one section of the game where you're more than bluffing, you're bidding secretly behind a screen. Each player will have their own screen, and in this game we are playing the part of explorers who go to the island of Papua New Guinea, and we're getting there to find new species of animals, of birds, of insects, plants, whatever. So in every round there will be like three new cards that represent these things that we're looking for, and we will be bidding for each of these. So
excellent. I remember years ago I wrote an article for the site on things that needed to be turned into games, and one of them was the age of exploration, the age of discovery.
Okay, because
there was so much you can use in that. There was so much you could dive into. So I'm interested to see how this game captures that time period.
Yeah, I have the feeling that it will scratch that itch pretty well. Yeah.
Okay, the next one along here is one. This is probably, if you can call a board game say it's really important, I think this is a really important release, The Color Monster.
Yeah.
Just bring that forward here under the close cam. Okay.
Well, I won't be the one to say so, but I have to agree. I think that this is a board game, and it's more than that. It becomes more than a board game. In this game, I'm not sure if we're actually going to play it or we're just going to rumble about it. But this is a game for little children, for kids from 3-4 year olds onwards. in which we are cooperating. This is a cooperative game. We will be moving the color monster along different spaces which represent emotions. And this game will give us the excuse to talk about emotions. That would give the parents a really good tool to have these conversations with the little ones. That will give teachers the opportunity to make them think about them, about these things. So
that is, and I know I've said this before, but when I worked as an English teacher in Japan, take a shot. I know you all want to. Yeah. When I worked as an English teacher, and I would be teaching 4-year-olds, you know, so they're still getting a grasp of Japanese, never mind English. And I had to teach them emotions, and the only things I had to use were these big cartoony smiley faces. And that works for things like I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, but it doesn't work so well for mid-range emotions.
Yes.
You see someone just looking like that could be they're sad, they're sleepy, so there would be a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Having something that encourages that talk, I really wish this game had been around.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the chance to talk in particular with Warren about it, because he's a father. He's gone through all this. So I mean, you and I we can talk about this, but neither of us has children yet.
No.
So having the point of view of a parent, I think that this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I will admit I've also got a bit of a vested interest in it. Can I talk about this? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I did the UK localization proofreading for Color Monster, so I've got a little vested interest in seeing this one on the shelves.
Good.
Okay, and the last one just that we've got here, of course, is Silk. If you can bring that under the close cam for me. Yeah. Over here.
Oops.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm a bit clumsy with this.
No worries. So this is Silk, and I can go on and on about how much I love that art for days, but I'm sure everyone's already fed up hearing me say that.
Well, I mean, art is a very important thing in a board game. I mean, and I would be happy to talk for hours about art in board games.
Yeah, because you're an illustrator yourself, aren't you?
Exactly. I mean, coming from that particular professional skew, I would have a lot to talk about art. And actually, yes, I mean, I looked for this particular illustrator to work on this game. His name is Roque Espinet, and he's an amazing artist. And the game designed by Luis Ranedo actually ties everything together really nicely. This game, we presented as a pretty good gateway game, because at the end of the day, you only have to learn 6 rules. But it has enough crunch, enough tactical decisions that you have to be taking all the time, that more experienced players will have a blast playing this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you that we released this game in Essen last year.
Yeah.
It was released in the US. It sold out within a week. When we released it in Spain in January, it sold out really fast as well. Now we are working on getting reprints, but it's made in China, so it takes a while. And we will be launching this game at the UK Game Expo. So I'd say I would rather go and get a copy real fast, because hopefully they will fly off the shelves really soon. So
yeah, I may well have to pick up my own copy at UK Games Expo.
Good,
I think because I really love the look and feel of this game, and I'm happy to hear that it's been doing so well.
Yeah. I mean, we're really happy with these. I mean, the Color Monster has been a nuclear bomb for us. I mean, it's sold literally tens of thousands of copies all over the world. It was nominated as best children's game of the year in France, and it's becoming like a phenomenon for us. So this game, it's out of scale, and Papua is picking up pace really fast as well. So I mean, all of these games are really good surprises and are really solid, very solid games.
What you were saying just I actually just jogged something in my memory from when I was reading over the rule book for Color Monster. I think at the end of the rulebook, it included some notes for advice on how teachers and therapists could make use of it.
Yeah, and parents, yes.
Yeah, it was a really nice touch to see that. Sorry, I keep coming back to this. I really love the idea of Color Monster.
Good.
Now, as we mentioned, there is one game that we're going to play that is missing here.
Yes, La Viña. La Viña is a new game that we will be presenting for the first time at the UK Game Expo, if everything goes according to plan. When we are recording this, we already sent the game to the printers, and we're really, really pushing them to make sure that we get it on time for the UK Game Expo, and I really hope we do. This game is by José Ramón Palacios. This is the first game published by this designer and illustrated by Joan Guardiet. Mm-hmm. And in this game, you will be collecting different cards which represent grape on this fantastic piece of land where they have like the best grapes ever. And we will be collecting these grapes and selling them to wineries at the end of every round. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think we will see more about the gameplay when we get the chance to play it. But I think this game is special for something quite particular. This game is really good for, I mean, you and I, we can play and have fun, but we're veteran players. But also we can get this game and play it with your non-gamer friends. You can play it with your family. It's very accessible for all sorts of players. And the subject of the game, winemaking, it's so popular and broad that everybody can understand that real quick. And as I say, if you're invited over for dinner to some friends, you usually bring a bottle of wine or something like that. Now you can bring the whole wine with that. So.
Usually by the time I've reached there, there's not much wine left in the bottle. It's just,
okay.
I've brought you this very decorative bottle. Okay. So there's the different games. Be sure to check out the Let's Plays we'll have running throughout the week.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play them. But board games have had an explosion in popularity lately.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting a publisher's eye view of the design process.
Okay.
So can you take us through this? How do you go from, say with Silk, how did you start with that initial concept and how did you get it to the final product?
Okay, so let's take Silk for an example. So I met Luis Renedo at a convention in Granollers. The convention is called Jugar per Jugar, and that convention is very focused on designers, on their new games that they're designing and stuff like that. So I met him one year. He presented a game. We didn't make it. The following year, he sent me an email, said, David, I want to show you a new game that I'm working on. It's about tennis.
Tennis?
Yes. And I was like, oh, man. All right. Okay, I'm going to see your game. I got to tell you off the bat that we usually don't do sports games, but okay, let's do that. So I meet with a guy at his table in this convention, and he says he's got a game set up. And he says, all right, I will break this down and bring out the tennis game. And I said, no, I don't want to see the tennis game. Just show me this one, because the tennis game doesn't have a lot of chances. So he showed me that game, and it was the game that would become Silk.
Ah.
And I sat down, and I was immediately hooked. We were playing like the 2-player version, and the game ran really smoothly. It was really easy to teach. I mean, he taught me how to play in 10 minutes. And we were playing, and we were taking really interesting decisions all the time. And we were head-to-head, and we were having fun. And he won, I believe. But I was hooked. I thought that was a really good game. So I said, all right, because I don't take all the decisions, let me take this home to the office, and we will play it with the team. So that's what we did, and we thought that it was a good game. And we decided to move along with it. To be honest, the rules were there. There was not much to be done with it, But from a publisher's point of view, you always have to fine tune the rules, the text.
Yeah.
So sometimes designers may be really good game designers, but in terms of putting the rules in the text, that's something that needs to be polished most of the time.
I have to ask, was the theme already in there, the theme of shepherding silkworms, or was that something that came along later?
It came along the way because the original theme was about shepherding stuff.
Okay.
Which it's very common. It was about sheep.
Oh, okay.
But the world of board games doesn't need more sheep games. So it's got plenty of those. So we
all that's running through my head is a million Catan wood for sheep jokes. It's just
I mean it's all about that all the time. So we decided, all right, let's keep it more or less where it is, but also the original theme didn't really fit the gameplay.
Yeah.
Because the gameplay is it's a bit aggressive sometimes. So we decided to move this to a fantastical world, to get it with giant silkworms that made this silk, that you've got these shepherds moving around and they're special dogs with horns and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of my work. I must admit that this is the part of the process that I really enjoy the most, like world building and creating these things. So I wanted to work with Rock. I already knew his work, so I got in touch with him and I sent him a few sketches of the characters that I did myself. And I said I would like to do something more or less like this. So he got those really simple sketches and run with them into a great world that he's put into visuals with this game, and it was a great process. I really enjoyed it. Then once we have the art done, it falls into the hands of the graphic designer, where he puts everything in its place. In this case, Basco. He made a really nice, clear rulebook to be read. He came up with this fantastic logo that's very clean and sharp. And we designed the little meeples. I mean, we could have gone with just wooden cubes or something like that, but that's easy.
Yeah.
Let's try to make something specific for this game. So we decided to go one step beyond and make our own little silkworms, our own little Okami with his eyes printed on, the shepherd, the dog. So everything is custom made for this game.
I remember seeing those components when you had it laid out at Essen, and those were part of what drew me to the game, because they were recognizable wooden meeple pieces, but they did have their own look and feel, and they matched the art style and the theme very well.
Yeah, I think they do. Also, the colors we choose, they were not your typical red, green, yellow, blue. There's nothing wrong with that, but we wanted to do something unique for this game as well. So also the pieces are purple, brown, greenish, yellowy. Yeah. So it's not it's everything has been custom made, and we want that flair to be noticeable.
Okay.
So this has been more or less a process of making silk.
Yeah.
And so far we couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it's ended up with a brilliant product. But is that how many of these games start? You meet someone at a convention?
Yeah, that's the best way, to be honest. At least for me, I'm talking from my particular experience. I mean, when I started in this editorial position, I was very looking forward to receive emails, and I said to myself, I'm gonna read them all. I'm gonna give them valuable feedback to everybody who sends me a game. But at the end of the day, I don't have the time to do that, and it doesn't work for me. I mean, the publishing department in Devir, it's pretty small, so we don't have a lot of resources, so we can't just see everything that we receive by email. So what we are telling new designers to do is try to meet us at conventions. We're not difficult to find. I mean, we are usually in Gen Con, we are at DAO in Barcelona, we are in Essen, we are at Nuremberg, we are at the UK Game Expo, We are in Gen Con. So if you want to show a game to Devir or to any other publisher, try to arrange a meeting with them at one of these conventions. Send them a little introduction of your game. What is it about? How does it play? I'm talking about like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
What makes it unique? What makes it different from anything else? Where is it fun, or why is it fun to play? And if you can do that, also if you can identify your target, this is for heavy hardcore gamers. This is for new people who are getting into the hobby, or this is for families. If you send an email, this game is for everybody. No, it's not. It's not for everybody. It's not going to cater to everybody. So know your game, know your public, know the publisher.
Yes.
I mean, research what they do.
You're not going to pitch a new Warhammer 40k to Devir, right?
Exactly. I mean, even if it was Warhammer 40k with the success it has, we wouldn't take it because we are not the right publisher for a game like that, right? So try to do that. And if you can condense that on on a single sheet of paper, put it in your email, send it away a few days before the convention, and try to find the time with that publisher to show them your game. Then that's a good way of doing it. Also, bear in mind that it's not very likely that you will play a whole game with him, because there's so much for us to do. So we will probably be talking about your game rather than playing your game. So if there's something that sounds right, we may take it home and then play it at home without you. So make sure it works. So there's a lot of stuff that you want to bear in mind before submitting a game. But if this is what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah, fantastic. I was actually going to make that my last question. Do you have any advice for games designers wanting to break in? But
okay,
I think you covered everything there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's it. Try to just do something that it's fun, that it's unique, which is not easy because there's thousands of new games being put out every year. Don't fall in love with your game, because any publisher will change things. We change the theme of the game very often. We will help you to fine-tune rules. Don't give someone a fully closed project, because that's probably not going to happen. If you're going to present the project to a publisher, be aware that there will be changes. Be aware they will take time. Even if they say, yes, we want to do it, it may take years before it gets published. So that's the best advice I can give. I know.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much, David.
No problem.
Okay, well, I think that's about it.
Okay.
We're going to head off and see if we can get some of these games on the table to play now.
All right.
Okay, if you found any of David's advice there useful, please be sure to let us know in the comments below. And keep an eye out for these at UK Games Expo and other events.
Yes, please do.